Well, well, well. Would you look at that? Juice Pro Wrestling has merch. Support the show by going to prowrestlingtees.com/JPWTees and get yourself a shirt. Enjoy the show.
Rob Black, you fucked up because you brought the baddest, craziest motherfucker to ever step into a professional wrestling ring, and you invited me to come to XPW, a place made of characters, a place made of insaniacs. Well, you know what? Add to the motherfucking insane asylum, because Dirty Ron is coming, and I'm not stopping until I rip every motherfucker's head off, until I rip them limb from fucking limb, out in Pomona, California, at the motherfucking Derby Room, Saturday, April the 9th. It's going to be airing live on Fite TV. So tune in if you want to be a witness to a motherfucking massacre at the hands of Dirty Ron McDonald. Rob Black, you are on notice. Everybody in that locker room is on notice. I'm coming to make a statement, and you will never forget the name. Dirty Ron McDonald.
You so freaking bad. Wrestle me.
Welcome everybody to Juice Pro Wrestling episode 185, going to Killafornia. That's right, we're going to fucking Killafornia with the aching in our motherfucking hearts, with the dirtiest, the illest, the maddest clown in the professional wrestling game, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who will be winning the king of the Deathmatch tournament, April 9th, the day Kurt Cobain was found fucking dead on the floor of a gunshot wound to his motherfucking head, because that's fucking brutal. The man, the myth, the legend, the soon-to-be king of the Deathmatch at XPW. Dirty Ron, how the fuck have you been, brother?
Well, J-Man, I'm telling you, it's great to be back here on the Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast. I love you motherfuckers out in Chicago, and I'm coming to you from the beautiful beaches of Ocean Beach, San Diego, California, soon to be the home of the King of the Deathmatch, because I'm ready, I'm coming out, and I'm showing the whole fucking world that I've been in the ashtray promotions of professional wrestling for far too fucking long. And if you don't know who the fuck Dirty Ron McDonald is, which a lot of people do not, I guarantee you this. Saturday, April the 9th, live from the Derby Room in Pomona, California, right outside Los Angeles. I'm going through all 15 of those motherfuckers who everybody knows they're crazy. They're on the verge of death. These guys, they give it to from pillar to post. They bleed for this shit. But I tell you what, the baddest clown in every fucking town is coming to walk out of there with the crown. Dirty Ron McDonald, King of the Deathmatch, soon to be.
Fuck yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Dude, so here we are again, brother. And once again, man, it's great to have you back on.
Yeah.
And to be talking about something so cool as the return of XPW and the true style of XPW with this King of the Deathmatch tournament, Killafornia, dude. And like you mentioned, we got 15 other motherfuckers. Real quick, I'll give you got Silas Young. You got fucking Vincent from ROH. You got fucking Shane Mercer up in this bitch. You got Matt Tremont, Masada. Fucking, I don't know what G-Raver status is, but you got Schlack. Fucking Schlack. You got
fucking Schlack.
Dude, you got some real fucking stiff competition, Ron, but I ain't gonna lie. And shout out to Bruce Bodie. He couldn't be with us this week because of fucking technical difficulties. You hear that, Zoom? Fix your motherfucking shit. Act like there's a war going on somewhere in the world. Anyways, you said it. Hey, we're going to fucking Killafornia with Dirty Ron tonight. I'm fucking stoked. Dude, that list of names I just mentioned, I mean, a lot of these guys you've been in the ring with, a lot of these dudes are fucking, legends of the death match, modern day and past tense. What's your fucking mindset? Obviously, it's fucking seek and destroy, but get to the real deal, Ron. Let me know what the fucking mindset is going on with you.
Rob Black started jumping in my DMs last end of spring, early summer. I hear rumblings and rumors of XPW coming back. Big shout out to Kevin Kleinrock of Mass Republic, formerly of Wrestling Society X, formerly of XPW as well. I believe that's where you got to start in professional wrestling. Kevin Kleinrock was telling Rob Black, hey man, there's a guy here in California. He's a wild, crazy ass motherfucker. He's perfect for XPW. Because I think that's what it signifies to me. It's the return of characters in a more hardcore setting. I think that's one thing that's heavily missing from promotions like AEW. Like you do have a couple characters, sure, right? You got the MJFs, you got the Orange Cassidys, but like there's not a whole lot of things to get me excited, right? And what XPW always brought is not only porn stars. Rob Black used to run a porn company.
Jasmine St. Clair, she'll be back.
She'll be back. Hopefully we'll see some of the old faces that we used to see there. But hearing XPW coming back, and then when Rob Black hit me up about the tournament, I was just about to. Well, he was talking to me about it, and then in January I decided I was going to take some time off.
You were going to throw the damn towel.
Well, no, see, like, and I never said retirement because it's not that. Here's the thing. I jumped off a 20-foot roof last year, elbowed the motherfucker. That was perfect. Then Effie knocked me off the roof, and I got fucked up on an engaged match. So I wasn't able to hit the gym, but 2 times from September to the end of the year last year. So I was like, man, I just need to take some time off, get myself back in shape. And I announced that on the 23rd of January. And then Rob Black hit me up a couple days later. He's like, all right, we got a date for this tournament. He's like, don't retire. I'm like, I wasn't going to retire.
Yeah,
but
now that you say this,
I mean, it was kind of like, I felt cheap because I told the people that are down here in Ocean Beach that I perform for every week, I'm like, hey, I'm taking some time off. And then the next week, I'm like, oh, by the way, in April, I'm already coming back. So, I'm getting my body ready for that. It's going to be a 16
I hope so, brother, because was Rob Black like, hey, work hurt? And you're like, okay. Not saying he said that, but you know what I mean? Like, if you knew you were hurt and fucking wanted to work it still, like, how is your body, man? I've
been out of the ring actively now for, about a month and a half. My body's feeling great. I'm slowly starting to get back in the gym. We're at this point of recording, we're 32 days out from the King of the Deathmatch tournament. And, I still keep myself in decent shape, but I'm, getting back in weightlifting. I had some injuries I had to get over. But dude, once I got the group message and saw some of the names that were, being invited to this thing, I was like, fuck, like I would be stupid not to. I mean, like seriously,
Necro Butcher's coming back.
Dude, like I'm so excited about that. I hung out with that guy a few times gathering juggalos. He's a raw ass dude. I've never seen somebody eat as much acid as Necro Butcher. Straight up.
Yeah.
But like looking at the whole field, I mean, it's such an truthfully, it's an honor to be even invited and to be considered. I'd like to think this stuff I've done in the ring or promos and shit that got me here, but I think it has a little bit to do with I'm kind of localish. I don't know.
Well, it's that, but it's going back to what you're saying too. It's that character work, dude. It's the character and the character coming in like this is brutal, violent shit we're talking about. And for the sake and all the haters out there that want to be like, oh, they don't like deathmatch wrestling for hardcore wrestling for any reason other than like, well, there's no, substance to it. There is. And there's, in storytelling, but then you just put motherfuckers in, you do the work, but there's characters. And I think they recognize that, the Dirty Ron character, the brand you've been building for a while now, and what you've been doing with, fist combat and everything like that fits. Like if I was Rob Black, I'd be fucking hitting you up. Like, hey man, come get wet with all these fucking motherfuckers.
Straight up, and like, that's one thing that's been going on in conversations, between him and I is that like, hey man, I run my own thing here down in San Diego. I don't know if the cat's totally out of the bag. I don't know if I'm spoiling anything right now, but I know for a fact that he's got the Derby room in Pomona like once every 2 months for the rest of the year. So, like XPW's coming back, man, and they're coming back to California. And I think the way that, our conversations have went, it's like Rob Black has a different idea about deathmatch wrestling, and it is character based. But if you watch his King of the Deathmatch tournaments from before, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff, like in deathmatch, just to your point earlier, deathmatch wrestling can be art. And when it's done, it's so subjective for me to say deathmatch wrestling done right. And it's like, it's pretentious, I think. But if you do it in an artful way where it makes sense, where you're using weapons as part of the wrestling match, then it makes sense. Like I'm proud of almost every death match that I've ever done because I know that there's a story with it, and they do all tell stories. And if you do it right, it's good. But there's a lot of deathmatch wrestling out there that, I think it's garbage straight up. It sucks being somebody that cares and has always cared about deathmatch wrestling. I was watching the FMW exploding ring matches on tape in '98. I'm watching piranha death matches and scorpion death matches and alligator death matches. Where deathmatch wrestling, was sure it was a spectacle going at some of those, but like when deathmatch wrestling done right, it's fucking dope. But gratuitous violence and like way too much blood, it's cool. And sometimes it's overdone. But you see like guys like Jun Kasai, Matt Tremont knows how to fucking do that shit. And those guys get ultra bloody. And it's art, Yeah. So I'm proud to be a part of this whole field. I'm going to go in there and I don't care what the plan is. Nobody's going to forget the name Dirty Ron McDonald after that day. I don't care what I got to do, but I'm not going to go out there and I ain't going to kill myself, but I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make a fucking statement and I'm going to make sure that people know I ain't nobody to be fucked with. I ain't nobody to overlook. I want to be a staple in XPW. And I think that on this day, on April 9th, I'm going to get an opportunity to show that. And if I fucking bring it, I'm going to just be undeniable. There's going to be no way they can do shit without me.
They can't deny Dirty Ron, man. They can't. XPW, they need Dirty Ron to survive the rebirth.
Man, I'm amazed. I know that you smoke weed and cigarettes, right? Can I say that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
So all right, you do. And you have an incredible fucking death metal voice and your fucking regular ass voice. And you still talk regular. How do you do it? Because every time I do it, I fucking.
It was many years of being young, drunk, and angry, and just, eventually my throat became my throat. Don't get me wrong, brother, because like a couple weeks ago, my band just did a 3-day mini tour, like Chicagoland area, Northwest Indiana, and Indianapolis, and 3 days in a row. We're getting up there in age. The type of music we do, like it's so physical. You put a lot into it, and especially myself and my drummer. My drummer is like Animal from the fucking Muppets come alive, but brutal, playing Cannibal Corpse. Like shit. It's very taxing, like as we've gotten older. And now I can't just pound whiskey and do all this. And I still smoke, but now I limit myself. Otherwise my voice is going to fucking be gone. And after 3 days, the next Monday, it was very much fucking good.
No doubt. Oh yeah. There's Skullcrack. This is a fucking metal band from LA. Fucking, they just played the OB Wrestle House because, down here, not only we do wrestling every Saturday night, I got live entertainment 5 nights a week down here. So it's been cool because I get to see all these different types of bands and shit, like it's fun because I'm not a music guy. I'm a wrestling guy that has the venue. So, getting back into seeing live entertainment fucking 5 days a week is dope.
Yeah, man, it's been a hell of a year. And dude, it's been about a year since we've done one of these together. So like in that year, what the fuck's been going on with you? I know, we've talked about shit with the film, and then just living through COVID and now all this other bullshit that's fucking going on. What's it been like for you in your own down personal town?
Well, things have been moving in a positive direction slowly but surely. My wife and I, since the COVID restrictions were elevated in June of last year, we were able to legally have shows, even though we were doing it all year.
Speak easy.
Yeah, I know. But, it took us a while to kind of get the right promoters in here. But now we've got entertainment going on 5 days a week. Our wrestling is popping. We get packed in place almost every Saturday, 120 people or so. And we stream now on Twitch live for free every Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific. We have our brand of wrestling. I do, since I've taken time out of the ring, I'm doing, play-by-play commentary with a number of different people. It's fun. We're booking wrestling every week. So, like now the first Saturday of the month is like Clash of Champions. Second Saturday of the month is Combat Lucha. Third Saturday of the month is like Best of the Best. And then last Saturday of the month is like hardcore kind of death matches night. Some weeks, some months we get a fifth week in there and, we do something special on that fourth week. But, it's fun. But I get a variety of different wrestlers. I mean, we probably have 60 to 70 active wrestlers on our roster that wrestle here once every month and a half. So, there's a lot of wrestlers that come through here. Now that we're booking a lot of luchadors too. So we've got a whole separate lucha promotion here on the second Saturday of the month called Combat Lucha. It's going to be on this Saturday. It's, a lot of guys from Tijuana, a lot of guys south of the border that come over and work the right side, lucha style.
Yeah, I fucking love that. Srutton's over there smiling. He loves that lucha. He goes to a bunch of galley lucha shows up here in Chicago. But they put on a fucking killer lucha show, dude. They straight got the tacos like it's inside what's Srutton, like a fucking swap
essentially
meet?
like a giant swap, like a giant flea market. But the owner owns one corner of the flea market. He might own more. But yeah,
open grillings, fucking tacos. You could just smell it throughout the whole building. It's fucking, you feel like you're down, in Mexico or something, like just going to an authentic fucking lucha show. It's fucking small. It's dirty. It's fucking, but nobody speaks English except for you and your buddy.
Actually, the way you're hyping your place, that building, you might, I don't talk much in real life unless you get me going, then I don't shut the fuck up. But,
God damn it.
I'm always popping into little places. So like not little places, just places. I just show up. So you might see me sometime this spring.
Oh, dude.
Just off in the corner, just coming out of the shadows, clapping.
He does
every Saturday. That's definitely on brand for a lucha show to be in the middle of a warehouse or a flea market. I've wrestled several lucha shows in flea markets up in Northern California. It's a staple out there. I tried to get some lucha at a flea market here, but it just didn't work out, But yeah, it's been quite the task to do that. Speaking of lucha too, my wife and I go down to Tijuana on Christmas Day. There's a big show every Christmas at the Auditorio Municipal in Tijuana. I have 4,000 or 5,000 people there, and it's they have some crazy strip clubs over there too. So that's the after party. But dude, I've been to a couple crash shows down there. I wrestled a couple times in Mexico, but it's a totally different atmosphere. It's wild. It's like doing comedy in a black room. Like it's fucking, dude. Everybody's into it. They'll give you shit if you suck. They're loud. They're rambunctious. It's a wild atmosphere to be at. So
and if you do good, you'll get pelted with pesos, dude.
Right? People throwing coins at these motherfuckers. I was like, Jesus Christ.
My broke ass be like, oh shit, yo, Pedro, grab a sack.
It is wild though, because it's a totally different style of wrestling. Not only do they work from the right side, where everybody else in the world works from the left side for the most part. It's just a totally different style of wrestling. You see a lot of wrestlers that can be up there in age, like guys in their 50s and 60s, like that. It happens all the time.
La paca, la paca, la paca, la paca.
Yeah, these guys have a longevity down there, and it's a totally different style. It's a lot of they look at it like they look at religion.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about Lucha Libre, dude. It's interwoven into their culture, it's great, man. It spans generations. It's really family oriented. Totally. I love that shit, dude. When you have your grandfather and your great grandfather pass down this gimmick, and you're looking like Blue Demon or something,
Oh, totally. A lot of legacy, characters down there, passed down from generation to generation, keeps these characters alive. It's it's kind of the same way. Young. Yeah, exactly. It's the same way we do with superhero movies now. It's just passed on from person to person.
Yeah, like Hugh Jackman's passing on Wolverine to Glenn Danzig.
Exactly.
Never. Maybe like 30 years ago. Dude, so I mean, during all this time, that you've had, I kind of want to touch back on this because, whether you want to talk about it or not, it's cool. I ain't asking you to fucking shit on anybody, but for anybody out there listening that, is able to fucking help a brother out that knows anybody, and some of our buddies that listen that produce movies and shit. Dude, you produced what would you say, like an hour's worth of this film?
Probably 40, 45 minutes. But here's the thing, is that like it's not like consecutive. It's all like spotty all over the movie.
Right,
so,
right.
I like totally honest, it's a pro wrestling movie, The Legend of Dirty Ron. Looking back on it, I think we should have kept my name out of the title. Just nitpicking. But also, like, we just really jumped out of the water on that one. Like, we were unprepared. We didn't really know what we were doing. Our timetable was off. And, honestly, like, it left a bad taste in my mouth just because of the way that everything was executed. And I of course, I'm to blame for some of that. But, I think what we're going to end up probably doing is I recently started talking to the director again, and he was the one that edited that trailer. So, I think we're going to get back in there and edit what we got into a, short 15 to 20 minute something that, isn't going to have a finish to it. It's going to be a to be continued.
Or maybe you do it like an episodic thing, and then you buy yourself a little bit of time, and you turn it into a fucking 8-episode TV show or whatever the fuck, I'm glad to see that you're pushing forward with it, man, because it was like I told you off camera, man, it's like the wrestling Cheech and Chong. Like there's quality in it, and like the story and everything. And just from that trailer and everything I saw, I was really stoked about that, man. So
totally. I think that's the biggest bummer out of all of it is that when I really took time, and it was a bad breakup for real. And just because of the way that everything turned out. And that's just what not being able to finish it, not coming up with the funding. Forget about the personal relationships. It's just, the structure of things, like I was just saying. So that's what was the toughest about it. And, I just needed time away from it. So after the GoFundMe stopped in April, I got the footage back in May, and, it wasn't a very amicable breakup between the director and I. We had a lot of time together, and I think there were a lot of emotions tied up in it. But, at the end of the day, I've hit him up recently, and I was like, hey, it'd be a shame for this not to get out because we put a lot of time into it. However, like, if I got funding, I would just make a totally new film. And, that's just to say that I think I know where to spend money now. And like, the money really is in the editing, because when, it wasn't like a fucking rocket science shooting the film. We didn't take a whole lot of takes. Like, we pretty much nailed it on the first couple takes. So, it was just writing out a schedule and, somebody staying on top of that schedule, little simple things. So, seeing where we were with that project and the way that everything kind of went, I'm just like, I'm fucking done with it. Let's get it. Let's do something with it. Because here's the other thing too. 2 different camera crews have shot documentaries on me since then. The day that I did that jump off the roof, our film crew was following me all weekend. It was kind of like, hey, this is wrestling down here in Ocean Beach. We drew like 800-900 people in the alley that day, see me jump off that roof. So, there's that's gonna be like a 25-minute documentary. There's another short, that got shot in December. Who knows when that one's coming out? But I'm just kind of over it. It's a bad breakup. Let's tie all the loose ends up and then fucking move on.
Yeah, for sure. You got to persevere, man. You got to move on. I'm glad, for you to share your input on that, because it's something, Sretton and I are wanting to, film movies and make short features and content. I mean, if anything, just to appease ourselves and know we could do something entertaining, and the rest goes from there. That's
they got shit we want to do too, but like hearing it, and we followed you and encouraged and did whatever, but from my place, We also have discussed, even on the podcast and stuff, like we're both no strangers to failure, but like, I don't know when it was, 6 or 7 months ago, we recorded a podcast to kind of give the history of what we did when we started, how we started and all that. And meeting each other, it was all high hopes and everything was cool. And we didn't, we were kind of strangers. Cut to 3 years later, right? Has it been 3? Has it been 4? I don't know. COVID, all this other bullshit, that vision that I had that fired me up. I mean, I was for 2 years, I was running on 2 hours of sleep, gas station coffee and fucking cinnamon buns and shit just to keep this dream I had going. And other than this show that we still do, because it's fucking fun. And Wallace and I have developed a very, like, we're buddies now. We've traveled together. We've done all these things. He's helped me out when shit was like going kind of rough for me. He's one of the people I could lean on real hard. And it was like, but we're no strangers. I'm no stranger to fucking failure, but you got to keep, like, we both know now, so last time we talked, and we don't really talk much offline. Like the movie stuff, I love that shit. But when I saw you jump off that roof and do that stuff, I was like, oh my, like, he's there, like you're still around, you're still doing shit, you're still fucking. And then to see, like, we were just talking about off camera, like some of the promo stuff, and the audience just saw like a piece of one of your fucking promos. You're not a new guy. You've been at this forever. You are a fucking sharpened sword in professional wreshling.
Yes.
And it's fucking fun to watch. I don't know what the fuck you do when the camera turns off. I don't know what you do at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you present to the public, that's what I see. And it's just always fun to see, even when, it sucks it didn't work out like you had dreamed. Who knows what will happen in the future, but it's fucking, it's good to see you, man. And it's cool. And failure's fucking part of life.
Without a doubt, it's not over till you quit, right? And with the movie stuff, if I could say, a couple more things about that, and like hopefully it helps you guys out in some way, shape, or form. But the two important things that I found were lighting and editing. And if you have a good light guy and you got a good editor, then the other stuff, like all you gotta do is have a good eye. The director's got to have a good eye, or like get people that give a shit. We spent a lot of money on locations that I wasn't very happy with. I think we could have got a lot of these locations for free. It was tough because we were shooting during COVID, so not a whole lot of places were open. So we spent a lot on locations. We spent a lot on a lighting guy for 2 days, and I don't know if I'll have to see the final product to tell you if it was totally worth it. But it was just like we had a budget that was ready for a YouTube sort of thing, like $10,000 to $15,000 to shoot this thing. Let's pay RVD. RVD was going to get the lion's share, the biggest payday out of the whole thing, because Paulo was just going to shoot it, hold on to the fucking camera, and do all that. We'd have a guy holding the light or whatever the fuck we needed, and then it was like, all right, do we want this to be YouTube quality, or do we want this to be like Netflix, Hulu quality? So I'm satisfied with that because of the praise I get for the quality of the trailer, and because of that, who knows what the future holds? I still respect Pablo's work.
Dude, Robert Rodriguez made a career out of turning trailers into feature films. Look at the grindhouse shit. Machete.
Were those all just like as trailers that turned into
They started off as trailers, yeah. I know Machete did. There was another one like him and Tarantino did, and it turned into like,
I think all the grindhouse ones. I think.
Yeah.
I think he only did 2 of them, but they did all the Machete sequels. But whatever.
If you can put together a quality film, if you do everything right, and you can get a lot of the talent to work for little to nothing, with like 1 or 2 names in it. Honestly, I'm not going to shoot any names off, but there were a couple of those wrestlers that were in that film that, volunteered their time, because once we got a certain amount of people on it, it was like, oh, all these people are part of it. You want to pop down? You're in town.
You had the homie on there too, Mecha Wolf, dude.
Yeah, Mecha was part of that thing. Seidel was supposed to be part of the thing. We didn't get to his scene. you know, and there were a couple other surprises that, you know, I was really excited about that, you know, never came to fruition. So, you know, like I'm definitely not done doing shit like that. Like I have this warehouse for at least 4 more years, you know, like it's basically a fucking movie studio. So, you know, I got enough experience now to where, you know, I think that it's not going to be hard. I live in a town, Ocean Beach, that supports the shit out of me. You know, I have my banner on the back wall are all local businesses that pay to be a part of it because we don't sell food or alcohol here. People go and patronize the local bars, restaurants, breweries all around here that pay to be a part of my thing. You know, so we're very community oriented.
So when you have people coming in, can they order like from, say they're coming in, they want to order a beer or something from somewhere? Can they order from one of the places, have it in your establishment?
So technically not. We have had private events that allow that. And for a while we were doing
Living the
BYOB.
gimmick, Dirty Ron.
Man, you know, we were doing BYOB totally under the fucking radar for sure.
Yeah.
And then, you know, eventually you start catching the fleck. Some people that will let you know that that's not very legal, and they'll give you an opportunity to not do that anymore. So we're not doing that anymore right now. But it's cool because, you know, like in between bands, you can go, there's a brewery 10 clicks down the street, you know, fucking it's half a block down.
Trent and I are very much of that mindset. Like, I would love to do that, dude. I'd either just at a show or something anyways, when there's a break or I'm taking a break, I'm going outside and smoking. If there's a fucking restaurant or a brewery right there, all right, I'll be back in like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Straight up, you know, we have 15, 20 minutes in between bands. We got 20-minute intermission of wrestling. We only do 5 matches. So like we start at 7, doors are at 7, usually a little after 7. We start at 7:30 right on the fucking dot. We're usually done by like 9:30, definitely by 9:45. Get people out the door, 5 matches, have fun. Let's go get fucked up at the Harp.
Yes, that's how you should do it, dude. And that's my problem. I want to know your take on this because a lot of wrestling shows, and I ain't saying any names, but they're ones you watch on TV and beyond. Great cards, but dude, by the time you're done with that, I feel like I just played fucking 3 nights in a row again. It's like, I'm tired. I'm like, wow, just from like, it's almost I get hit too much with it. And I don't know how because Stredden goes to more shows than I do. And I go to, I guess, a decent amount for being a fucking family man and working man and all my other shit, you know, like it's just
2 hours is perfect for me.
It's a lot of energy. People ask me all the time, like, could we do some bands and wrestling at the same time? I said, look, man, you don't want to. And here's why. Because with band shows, you get all hyped up when they're on stage, but you need that 15, 20 minutes in between. Get your energy back. Go outside, have a drink, you know, whatever. And you need that time, the downtime. But when you do, you know, same thing with wrestling. Like, that's why you need an intermission at wrestling. Like, you got to give full energy. And we are expecting and trying to manipulate people's emotions enough to where they're giving us all their energy. And I'm very conscious of a 2-hour show, 2 hour, 15 minutes with a 20-minute intermission, you know, and like, that's because you can only expect so much out of people. Plus, I know our audience. I purposely draw people that aren't wrestling fans. You know, they're like, oh, I remember when wrestling was this. I remember when DX. I remember when NWO. I remember Ric Flair. And I want to give them that. We give them characters. I see people talking about these days like there's no characters in wrestling. You know, is there even a face and a heel anymore? It's like, yo, that's the fucking basis of every story. That's all we're doing. We're telling stories. So like, you don't watch Spider-Man if there ain't no bad guy. You don't watch Batman if there ain't no Joker. You need that good bad guy. You need that fucking good heel in order to have a good baby face.
Dude, for sure. And that's a good little segue. Out of like the wrestling that you watch, or even, you know, the major TV brands that if you take any of that in at all,
nope.
Who would you say are the brightest heels and faces in the business right now?
Well, I do. So I don't watch wrestling, but I do follow AEW, Game Changer Wrestling, ICW No Hold Bar, and a couple other promotions that I defy. And, you know, I keep up with wrestling there because, you know, very short, kind of shows you what you need. But, you know, it's undeniable. Everybody says it. MJF is just fucking amazing. You know, like watching a guy whose life has been professional wrestling, to keep up on his storytelling and see his range, dude, that dude's fucking amazing. Like it's it's easier to be a heel than it is to be a babyface, I think. But it's harder to be a good heel. Like a heel where you're like, it's like Ric Flair. It's like, I don't think there's been a heel like that since Flair. You can talk about somebody like The Miz, but The Miz was hateable. The Miz wasn't like secretly likable. You know,
right. I still don't like The Miz. I'm sorry. I'm like, no disrespect to his work, because dude, he's fucking worked his ass off. But he's never done it for me. You know,
one of the hardest workers out there. Somebody, you talk about improvement. That guy went from,
he was a reality TV cat. Come on.
Yeah, from being, you know, an obnoxious reality TV person to one of the best sports entertainers of, you know, top 20 of all time, maybe, you know, sports entertainers. I'm not talking about wrestlers. I'm talking about WWE sports entertainers.
That's that VKM terminology. I like that, brother. Woo.
Well, you know, like, because I don't know, I heard some of that interview on the Pat McAfee show where Vince is like, hey man, like straight up, yo, these guys are WWE superstars. It's like one thing to be a wrestler, but like it's totally different level to be a WWE superstar. Just like it's, you know, a player in the NFL, it's an NBA, you know, to fucking be on the PGA Tour. It says something about you. And I think it's stupid for people to give WWE shit. It's whiny, it's pretentious. It's, you know, it's just like, hey man, if you don't like it, just fucking watch something else. But how can you deny that when you look at a WWE roster compared to any other roster in the history of wrestling?
Oh, it's stacked.
It's stacked with stars, people that could easily transition over into film.
Yeah, and the big thing is global stars.
Straight up.
Global. You know, like, you don't like The Miz, but guess what? Motherfuckers in Saudi Arabia, China, you know, Kazakhstan, whatever. It's fucking country you can make up or think of.
Straight up. Look at, everybody wants to shit on Roman Reigns. Well, like, they had to babyface him for a while to get people to hate him. And now he's having the run of a fucking lifetime. Like, he's a fucking star. And you know what? Anybody can deny this all they want, and they can be on that side of the fence, whatever. But WWE is all about fucking entertainers. And if you ain't a multifaceted entertainer that draws on many levels and has range, if you're just a good wrestler, you can't get your character over, go wrestle somewhere else and do those fancy ass moves, you know? But it's a totally different company. It's a totally different whole mindset. It's not like indie wrestling, you know, like, I don't know.
It's not wrestling. I mean, it's wrestling, but it's not wrestling, if that makes any fucking sense. It does. Think about it. We just explained it. Dirty Ron just gave you a fucking class.
They're movies. I mean, they really do create movies. Yeah. I mean, every WrestleMania is a fucking movie, you know? Like, look at all their
shit. They film in what, the 8K, the entrances now or whatever, isn't it shit the NFL's using? It looks wicked.
And look at the pre-match like the way they build shit up and cut that up and fucking give it to you right before the pay-per-view match. Like, they've been doing that for decades now. Like, they tell stories, right? You know, like, you get, oh, this guy wrestled this guy a bunch of times. So what? Austin wrestled The Rock how many times in fucking WrestleMania? And it would have done it more if Austin wasn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got something good, what the fuck? Why are you going anywhere else? So, you know, I don't know. I love wrestling, but it's hard for me to keep up on shit.
Yeah, there's too much of it.
Way too much of it. I find myself watching a lot of old Japanese stuff. FMW, I'm really into that.
You watch a lot of that shit to prepare for XPW or what, man?
No, you know, like I watch it all the time. And that's one cool thing about my venue too, is, you know, we got a big screen in here and we just run wrestling all the time. Sometimes our shit, sometimes it's, you know, whatever. But we're always running wrestling at the wrestling house because, you know, that's where our bread and butter is. But yeah, you know, I watch a lot of old Japanese shit. I like to watch Lucha Libre because wrestling transcends language, all that shit. You know, you can watch that shit, not understand a thing somebody's saying, but you can understand everything they're doing.
You mentioned AEW though. You do kind of somewhat keep up with that, and I'm curious to know because I mean, it's totally.
I follow him on Instagram.
Okay. I get you. A lot of my favorite sports teams, I don't watch the games, but I know what's going on, you know?
Straight up.
I mean, dude, they're a total different company now from 3 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years. And, you know, the people.
Are they though?
I would say talent wise, yeah. And like story where it's going as far as just bringing in supposed stars, you know, guys like Keith Lee. I mean, all these WWE cats. I mean, like you said, they're bringing in superstars and bringing back guys like CM Punk, and they're actually doing good storytelling with some of this shit. I enjoy it as like a TV product. It's fucking as a professional wrestling fan, and they do a good mix. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's the best televised wrestling show. It's not super highly produced, but like I said, the whole kind of different roster, weeding out what maybe wasn't drawing or working, you know, and then purchasing ROH, which is going to be fucking really curious to see where that goes. I mean, dude, Tony Khan within the sign of a fucking pen just got 20 years worth of a video library. That's, hey, I'm sure we could all make a pretty coin with that, you know?
Nobody better to own that footage. You know, I mean, there's so many of their current roster on in their library. You know, it's good pickup by them for sure. But here's kind of what I noticed a little bit, and maybe this is only because I'm, you know, seeing it on clips, you know, and reading an occasional story here and there. But it feels like they have a lot of flavors of the month. Like somebody comes in, they're hot, and they fucking cycle them through for a month or two, and then they're not hot anymore. And like, you know, like how long can that go on? You know, like
till they get more programming, because I think that's one of the main factors of that. There's just not enough there's 3 hours of TV time a week? What's WWE got? A week
or some shit.
Yeah, like 32 approximate. You know?
They produce content like no other. You know, they're a straight up entertainment company. But you know, here's the thing. Like, I don't think Tony Khan's dad got rich because he's stupid. You know, and I think that, you know, it's probably been a rude awakening to take on a company like that. I think the guy runs a soccer team too, and now he's going to book Ring of Honor and AEW. Like, that's got to be taxing. You know, hopefully he's built like Vince McMahon, because ain't nobody built like Vince McMahon. You know, like, let me tell you, I run a 2-hour live show and live broadcast every week. And it's very taxing to do that, especially on top of all the other stuff that I do. Dealing with people's egos, you know, everyone wants to do this or do that. You know, everybody got ideas and shit like that. We only have 5 matches a week. I can only imagine what doing something like that is. I'm sure you have a lot of people give you input, but fuck, right? Like, dude, you guys do this once a week, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm sure, you know, I know that there's preparation that goes into this, and I'm sure.
Yeah, preparation H.
Well, so
you said it, not me.
I know my take on it with all of this, because we don't. So when we talk, at least let me say it from, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, so I'll say it this way: I don't watch WWE because I find it to be incredibly boring. That's just me. So I don't watch it. So I watch what I do like, and I've been turned on to AEW and some, you know, like pretty much I only have time to watch that, and I watch it and I enjoy it. It's fun. I'm not thinking, just like why I go to live wrestling shows or concerts or whatever. And that's about the end of it. I am your regular Saturday audience to the shows that you throw. I'm not the diehard guy. I like this stuff, and I like it more and more the more I learn. I just recently tried to start watching old footage to learn the psychology of things and all that, because there's projects we want to do, and I'm interested in it. I'm interested in the storytelling. But as far as like going in depth, reading the dirt sheets, all that other bullshit, I have zero interest in that. I am that fucking blank slate that wants to be entertained every week, and AEW does that for me. That's why even like, it's funny that of all 3 of us that do the show that are the hosts, I go to way more wrestling shows than they do, but I also have more free time. But I don't have the time. I don't know who the fuck is wrestling. I walk in, I grab a beer or something to eat, I watch a show, I'm entertained, and I get the fuck out of there. I'm not like Googling who's who at the end of the show. I just want to know that I was entertained and I had a good time, and that's it, you know. And from that perspective, like, That's why I like AEW. I don't know where it's going to go. I do agree with you with a little bit of the flavor of the week stuff because I don't know the long-term things, but I'm hoping they figure it out. If they don't, I don't know. I'll be bummed out, but for now, every Wednesday is pretty entertaining.
Well, it's good. It's not only is it good to hear that because you're the exact type of person that I want coming to my shows. Nobody says you fucked up at our shows. Like, hey, it ain't like that. This ain't that type of atmosphere. It's people that want to go out and have a good time, and we don't draw people in their 20s, like generally. Like we do have 60% women that come to our shows, sometimes 70% women.
What's the address?
It's wild to me because growing up as a wrestling fan and then being in independent wrestling for over 2 decades now is that, dude, it was always 80-90% dudes, always. There are rarely women at the shows. Like, we have groups of women come to these shows.
And God forbid if there were.
Yeah, right. And a lot of women come to the shows. And, we're not only that, we're creating a community down here because we do go to the bar that's a block away from here. And, it's big enough to hold the whole crowd that comes here and, and all of us. So, we get, we're bringing like 40, 50 people over there to have drinks after the show. So, we all kind of like hang out and shit together. So, it's like, it's fun. It's exactly the community type of atmosphere that I got into pro wrestling to be a part of, and we've created that down here. And I'm really proud of that, honestly, because, now with me taking time out of the ring, I get to spend a lot of time developing stories. And, I don't want to suck my own dick, but I think people came to see me a lot here. And it's true, but taking myself out of that, it's helping me to build everybody else up on the card. So everybody else would be like, oh, well, that person's on the card. I got to definitely go see that because he's now working more on connecting with the audience. That's the one thing that a lot of indie wrestlers just don't grasp. They don't grasp connecting with the audience outside of doing their cool moves. And you got to do that. You got to talk to them. You got to tell them who you are. Like, look at the best people in combat sports in the history of all combat sports. They all talk. We all knew who they were. They were either scary or crazy or both. And they were badasses. Like those you listen to people like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. You listen to these guys and you care because they go out there and they do things that they say they're going to do, and sometimes you want to cheer that and sometimes you want to fucking hate that. So, it's all manipulating emotions, right? And that's what we do down here. Good guys, bad guys, manipulating emotions, just like they do at church.
He was smiling. He was like, whoa. Sorry about that, Stratton.
That's all right. I'll get over it.
No disrespect.
Oh,
hey, I got mad. I also have a lot of respect for the community that you created because that's one of the things we try to do. And I do have to shout out that like in Chicago, we are lucky if you pick a promotion because they all have their own personality. You go in and you get a different feel from each spot. For a number of different reasons. And as I go,
too, man.
Part of the reason I stay in the background and just watch is because I just want to see all those different, there's people that come up and there's people that I know and I talk to, but otherwise, like, everybody's got their own cliques. Some people are more diehard than others. Some people are more nonchalant. Some crowds are more disrespectful. But each one has their own personality. And I know to call out, there's a promotion called Freelance, and they have like a side promotion, Freelance Underground, and they'll do like shows at a brewery. And it's all like kind of dirtier, lower budget, but they usually have only locals, like only people from like nearby. They usually don't fly people in or have people drive far. And as a testament to the community that they created, the audience is fucking diehards. I don't think I've met a lot of wrestlers that wrestled for Freelance at Freelance Underground, but I've met less than 5 members of the audience because they don't like. I'm not knocking them because they are part of their own clique. They don't give a shit. Like, they all have their buddies and their people, and they go every week to see them and scream and get emotionally manipulated by these guys and women. And the people that do wrestle in the ring, they do that. And they fucking can all move. So it's and it's cool. It's impressive.
Stratton's trying to get laid. So ladies and gentlemen, if you see Stratton out and about in the Chicagoland area, any of these wrestling events, go up to him. He's a good looking guy,
But that sense of community that the point I was trying to make, that sense of community. Mad respect for that.
Rick James song.
That is so fucking hard to do. That is seriously hard to do. And it has become a rarity, whether I'm wrong or not, in our internet fucking age, where if I don't touch my phone every fucking 30 seconds, I go through some kind of mental withdrawal. And if you could create somewhere where people can put their electronics down and go have an actual real life fucking, you go and watch a wrestling show, you could smell people's farts and sweat. Sometimes, you know, you see the good and the bad. If somebody fucks up, who cares? If somebody made you like, got you pissed off or made you smile and laugh, all that shit's cool. And to have a community, it's just not, it's so fucking hard to do. I got mad respect for that. Like a ton of respect for that.
Thank you. Yeah. It's
near impossible.
I'm really the most proud of here with Fist Combat. And, you know, now getting to show our broadcast across the world through Twitch, you know, we get a few hundred people that are watching, but, you know, we're only 2 months into streaming every week. So, you know, I'm proud of that too. And, you know, we really had a plan once we came down here to the OB Wrestle House. You know, year number one was a little tough because first half was COVID and that shit. It was, it was a learning curve, letting people know that we existed. That was year number one. You know, year number two, we're upgrading. You know, we just upgraded lights in here for the bands. You know, we're live streaming now. And we're slowly, moving forward. You know, right now we're selling out almost every week. You know, we're turning away people almost every week. So, you know, that's good. You know, the word's getting out. People have a good time here. And, you know, it is cool because I do talk to a lot of the people that come to the shows. And, you know, because I want to get feedback. I want to know how they found out about us.
Yeah.
I want to know, what kind of a wrestling fan they are. And, you know, like, and really learning. And like, I'm a student of the game since day one. You know, my parents got all the WrestleManias live. I've seen every WrestleMania live except for number 24. I was working. Like I've been to 5 of them. Live. You know, like I like wrestling my whole fucking life. So, you know, to get to really be a student of the game and, you know, see how different promoters work and how they use different mediums to, get their product out there. In this day and age, it's hard to make any money off of your content. You know, that's why we're putting it out for free on Twitch. You know, the biggest company in the whole fucking world is giving the whole library of professional wrestling out for $5 a month. You know, so and they're not even a whole part of that. They're part of the Peacock or whatever the fuck. So, you know, it's, you know, here nor there, whether it's a good thing or not, but like, you know, where is anybody making content, like making money off of content? You know, I guess GCW is making some good money off content. They're putting out shows. 3 fucking
people
shows
are eating GCW up, man. Yeah, I mean, you keeping up with GCW, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know,
you watch the Hammerstein shit?
They're a marvel. It's amazing. You know, like I always wondered why a company couldn't step up and do what they're doing. And they really did it organically. But like Brett Lauderdale's a student of the game. You know, he started as a referee, I guess, for CZW, learned his way, rebranded, you know, Jersey Championship Wrestling as GCW in like whatever, 2014, 2015, you know, and really had a core group of guys. And geographically, it was a great spot too. I mean, you know, Northeast is just a plethora of wrestlers. You know, there's not a whole lot of wrestlers within driving distance of San Diego, Los Angeles. It's why you just don't see a big variety around it about it out here. But you know, like they really took advantage of slowly taking advantage of that they're not broadcast TV in any sense. So they were able to use a lot of guys that were under contract at different places, and you know, slowly building. You know, and talking to Brett, you know, like he really thinks a big. You know, I know this is true. You know, like him and I were like one of the, you know, a couple of the promotions that kept running through all this shit. You know, we found creative ways to run shows. You know, and like shit, I like in San Diego, I was the only promotion that ran for 2020. You know, we did more shows than any promotion in California in 2020. And like, we did 45 shows last year. That has to be more than any promotion out here. You know, so like, we just kept doing shows. Like, sure, you know, in the warehouse here, we're drawing 100, 120 people, you know, so they're not blockbuster shows. Well, we did some big shows, you know, like, and like the way that they took advantage of that, kept running shows, through COVID, and then just being able to be creative in getting different people to do different type of matches. With the plethora of those people getting let go from WWE, you had some trained assassins jumping out on the indie scene. And then with Ring of Honor, doing what they did, a plethora of fucking even more seasoned vets just jumped on the scene. So like, I was talking to some of the guys who are like barely getting booked on these super indies or whatever. I'm like, hey, you got to be worried about your spot, right? Because like now these guys are coming in fresh off WWE, like they got to wrestle somewhere, and they're gonna be wrestling everywhere. It could be argued that it's been good for indie wrestling, and I think that to be true. I mean, look, I feel like there's more promotions out here running than ever before in the history, and there's more wrestlers making an income off of wrestling than probably ever in the history of wrestling, counting those guys that wrestle only a couple times a month. But people are making money off of wrestling, and they're finding a way to do it. There's big money being invested into wrestling. There's a lot of super indies out there that, I guess are hoping they make money off of content. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
No, fuck no. Just like you ain't going to be stopping anytime soon, because now you got that bug, dude. You're going to be with XPW. Like, and this is super cool because, I mean, that's just you would hope that it rubs off on what you're doing too, with the exposure and the fan base. And it'd be cool, I think, too. I don't know how Rob is with maybe working with other promotions in the future, because you would think at some point in time, them and GCW gotta do some kind of joint venture, maybe the deathmatch version of a Starcade or some shit.
Let me let you in on a little tidbit. All right.
Just give me the tip.
I'll give you a tidbit. So it has been discussed that, GCW is essentially an East Coast promotion, and
they started that LA Fights or whatever too.
Well, let's talk about that. So, one thing that I got to applaud Brett for is what he's done is he's gone into every town and become the best indie in every town, hands down. So what they're able to do through their streaming is they don't necessarily have to put on, they don't necessarily have to draw 500-600 people at every show. Like in 2019, 2020, like in 2019, they were going to Memphis and drawing 200-300 people. I think one of their venues in Houston, it can only hold a couple hundred people, whatever. But they're able to take this and put it out to the world by streaming. But essentially, GCW is an East Coast promotion. XPW is a West Coast promotion.
Right.
And there was an East Coast promotion in the year 2000 that came out here and started running out on the West Coast. And Rob Black and the XPW guys had a little something to say about that. So, I'm not saying there's going to be East Coast, West Coast rivalry, but, I think some people might start feeling some type of way, when the big dogs are back out on the West Side, and somebody tries coming out here stomping in our territory, hey, man.
Hey, I'm a
West
child of
Coast,
the 90s,
West
brother.
Coast.
I love the East Coast, West Coast rivalry. So, pick me up, love. That's for you.
I'm not saying I'm definitely going to win the King of the Deathmatch tournament because I don't know how my night's going to fare that night. The winner of that tournament's going to have to win 4 fucking matches. Like you said, with guys like Masada, the only one of only 2 Americans to win a deathmatch tournament in Japan, the other being Mick Foley. Masada's in this thing. Fucking Necro Butcher, Legends, Schlack. He said Shane Mercer, Sage Sin, Big fucking Joe from over in the UK. You got some killers up in this motherfucker. It's going to be insane. The best deathmatch wrestlers in the whole entire world, and then Dirty Ron McDonald also. So I'm coming to fucking lay it down. Nobody is going to be able to forget Dirty Ron McDonald after that day. All right. I don't care when I get eliminated. I don't care if I make it all the way to the finals. All right. I'm going to be all over that motherfucker. That place is in my backyard. All right. I already know. Mark this down. There's going to be a Dirty Ron section up in that bitch. All right. We're coming in full. Dirty Ron Army in full fucking effect. All right. I'm coming out there to make a goddamn statement. I'm coming out there to show the whole world deathmatch wrestling. And let me tell you this is a fucking fact. There is no every other promotion in the world should not even think about running on Saturday, April the 9th, because the whole wrestling world is going to be focused on XPW at the Derby Room in Pomona, right outside Los Angeles, California. And they're going to be focused on the King of the Deathmatch tournament. 16 motherfuckers, 15 men, and Sage fucking Sin. I've been in the ring with Sage Sin. She's crazy. We're 1-1 against each other. All right. She took my Triple X championship away from me in December. I still haven't had my rematch. I'm telling you this. All right. I got to get that shit soon. But I can't wait to get in there and tango with fucking Deathmatch royalty. All right. There's only a couple active names out there that are not a part of this tournament that I can think of. They're like on the level of everybody else in this tournament. Swear to God, like top of the top, best of the best. True kings and queen of a legit ass deathmatch wrestling. And I'm going to be there. All right. I might be a little bit out of my league, but I've been swinging up my entire fucking life. And you goddamn guaranteed on Fite TV and traditional pay-per-view. Live from the Derby Room in Pomona, California, XPW King of the Deathmatch, and you're looking at the next fucking king.
That's fucking right. Dirty fucking Ron will be the king of the death match. And it's not going to be Vic Grimes who's making a special appearance. No. He's only making a special appearance, by the way, because New Jack is not with us, unfortunately, anymore. Otherwise, he'd be scared. That's a shoot, brother. Dirty Ron, I fucking love you. Right now is the time to let everybody know where they can find you on social media and where they can. Dude, do you got any fucking merch?
Man, yeah, but I sell that shit.
Man, that's the same thing I said. If they're like, you got any merch? I'm like, yeah, but like my drummer's got like 18 boxes of shit that like I don't want to.
You know what's a motherfucker is like sending that shit out. Like, fuck that shit. Like here's what's up. Like, very few people give a shit about me outside San Diego. So that's another thing.
We're trying to change that.
The whole world about to find out about the San Diego secret. I came down to fucking San Diego 5 years ago, and I took this fucking town over. Any wrestler that has been claiming San Diego since day one, guess what? I'm more popular than you in your home fucking town. All right? This is my town. Bye. Anoint me some fucking royalty. Call me Sir Dirty Ron. But you can find me all over social media at Dirty Ron McDonald. I'm active on fucking Instagram and probably the most. Because I'm stupid and I just like pictures and videos. Yeah, man, fucking.
Trent likes pictures of butts.
I love butts. I follow a bunch of them fucking like hot fighter chicks. They're like also model and shit. Man, I fucking got ass.
Scarlett Bordeaux.
Man, fucking got asses and shit. I got wow. Them big juicy butts. Man. Oh, also Fist Combat TV on all social media. We stream live every Saturday on Twitch at Fist Combat TV. It's very easy to find us. You can search Fist Combat too. I'm sure that shit will come up. Wrestling's been my life, and I love this shit. I know you guys love this shit. I appreciate you taking time out to talk to me and, really kick it because, there's nothing more that I love than talking wrestling with people who fucking really dig this shit. It's never a chore to talk to people like that.
Fuck yeah. It's never a chore to talk to you either, brother. It's always a good fucking time. We're always partnering with this motherfucker. Hey,
jealous of that.
Dirty Ron, thank you so much. You'll be back again because that's what you do. You come and get the juice, Once in a while, it makes you feel a little bit loose.
It'll be for the premiere of the film, I guess. The premiere of Dirty Ron's short film.
Fuck, it might be next week, man.
Oh, shit.
You better be fucking ready.
Well, hopefully you're not doing a memorial episode about me after that King of the Deathmatch because that's the only frontier left in deathmatch wrestling. Somebody's got to die.
Brother, if you die, we'll interview your corpse. It'll be a first-time thing. We'll probably get a Guinness World Record.
I was burning it. Have somebody moving my mouth.
Hey, yeah, we'll do like the Gigi Allen funeral. We'll record it all, put weird shit on your body, maybe dress you in a diaper, paint you up,
Fuck yeah, dude.
It'll be fucking awesome.
I'm gonna write that down in my will.
You fucking better. You better. And all of you better hit that like and subscribe button if you're watching right now on fucking YouTube. And if you're listening out there in podcast land, be sure to share with your friends, rate, review, download. Hey, social media, we're on all of it. All you got to do is hit like and share with people. Even if you don't want to fucking share, hit like, comment, tell us we're fucking great, tell us we're fucking stupid, but that's just dumb and that's in your own mind. Until next time, this is the Juice. It's shredding the not so fucking savage with Dirty fucking Rod. And we got one more thing left for you. We got to kick it West Coast and wet 'em up, wet 'em up, wet 'em up. I'm so fucking wet for Dirty Rod in XPW April 9th. Some shit's gonna go down and Dirty Rod will be taking the fucking crown, bitches.
You gonna do sex to me?
Did you like that video? If so, be sure to hit like and subscribe and check out more killer content from your boys at Juice Pro Wrestling. Whoa, yeah!